Hey, what's up guys? It's Eli and I'm here with Ed Stahl today from Metropolitana Linea Martial Arts. No, sorry.
Nailed it.
Yeah, Metropolitana Martial Arts.
Yeah,
Metrolina. He just changed it just now.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, check out his YouTube channel though. What's your YouTube channel name? Just
Metrolina
Martial Arts. That's easy to remember. He shows some awesome stuff over there, like as far as JKD and Kali kickboxing stuff, Jiu-Jitsu stuff occasionally. But anyway, he's been coming over here and training with me over at Fit to Fight since I've been here in North Carolina. So that's really cool. And anyway, so I thought I'd ask him today if he would do me the honor of being in one of my videos with me, and while I show some Jiu-Jitsu stuff. And today we're talking about wrestle ups. It's been a popular phrase for a while now, but basically a wrestle up is an interesting category of positional exchange that I think differentiates a little bit from sweeps to reversals and wrestle ups. And there's lots of different positional exchanges that have some overlap, but they also have some exclusivity of like, this is a wrestle up, this is a reversal, this is a sweep, and they're not the same thing. So I want to kind of distinguish that, and I want to give a few examples from a technical perspective today. This is obviously not a comprehensive list of every way you can wrestle up, but it's hopefully is going to be something that can kind of give you a clue as to how to utilize this for positional advancement. So the first one I want to look at that sticks out to me, that kind of it makes me think of the spirit of a wrestle up is what happens when somebody is knee cut passing you, and how I can kind of like turn that into an advantage for me. So essentially what's happening is if Ed is coming in and he's kind of knee cutting this way here. So basically what's happening, he's going to slice over this bottom leg. Typically he's looking to get my legs off to the side to make this L shape. He's looking to clear the knee shield on this side, and he's cutting through. Now, what's gonna help him a lot with this pass is to seal all the space. The two biggest ways he's gonna do that is to seal the space between his hip and my pelvis, and to establish this underhook on this side. If he does those two things, the success of his knee cut pass is gonna be a lot higher. So what I wanna try to do is not allow those two things to happen. So the two big things I'm gonna put in his way that's gonna create the opportunity for my wrestle up is gonna be one, my thigh coming behind his butt / hamstring, and two, me keeping this T-Rex arm in here so my armpit is closed, and I'm eventually looking to establish my underhook. So as his momentum and his pressure is moving forward, I'm tucking this arm inside of here like this. I want to try to get low, back down and around here by his butt. I'm going to use my arm and my leg to push him and boost him forward up like this. So that now I'm going to come up to this kind of position. Now, what can happen from this position here, what I'm looking to do is as I come out, I want to cup in front of his knee, and I want to get my elbow to the floor. If I leave my elbow floating and Ed spins around to face me, well then he can do it pretty easily here like this. But if instead I keep my elbow to the floor and inside his calf, and then I cup here around his knee, it's going to be a little harder because it's going to lock his hip more into place. And as he turns to face me, he's going to lose some stability in his position. And so I'm going to use that as my opportunity to reach across for this far side knee tap, and then I'm going to drive into him as if I were doing a double leg takedown like this. So because of that double leg takedown element, even though I didn't get myself from on the ground up to standing, this is still what I would consider a wrestle up opportunity. It's not a sweep. It's not something I'm probably going to get points for in a tournament. It might, depending on the referee, but this is also not necessarily just a positional reversal. It's a wrestle up using a positional reversal. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So again, to look at kind of the dynamics of what that looks like, as he's knee cutting here, I'm keeping everything tight in this way. I'm getting my quad behind his hamstring or his butt. I'm tucking my elbow down so he doesn't get an immediate underhook on me. I'm bumping with my knee, and I want to eventually get my arm here back behind his butt. I'm going to push and bump him forward off of his knee cut, and I'm going to scramble up to my two knees, block his knee out, and then eventually reach across to this far side knee here so that I can pin this leg, drive inside here, and then I'm gonna get my top position on Ed off of his pass. So building up, a lot of times what we see, where we see wrestle ups come from is the grounded person versus a standing person. So if Ed is standing here like this, then different positions that I can look to play. One of them that's a really helpful position for me here to make sure that I have the proper framework in place to not allow him to pass me really easily is to create this kind of shin to shin kind of position here. So I'm going shin to shin like this, and I'm going to reach and I'm going to grab behind Ed's leg on this side. Again, I don't want to open too big of spaces to allow him to concede underhooks or to snap my head down or to do anything, any kind of attack style passing. So this shin blocking here and then me holding on the back of his leg here is going to give me some good wrestle up opportunities. So once we're here like this is a good place for me. Now I can reach to block this leg over here on this side if I want to keep space, or if I want to collapse space, I can hook behind the leg here on this side. at this point here, depending on the location of this leg, I may go to either the leg or to the torso. If he's more sideways like this is probably a good opportunity for me to hook behind the leg and push on his upper torso here like this. And I want to scoop and pull his leg back while I push to the center of his torso while locking this in place. If I combine all three of those elements, and whenever we go here, that's going to knock him down pretty easily like that. And I want to use that pull to get me back to the standing position. And now I'm standing, he's on the ground. So I've essentially exchanged positions with him, and I'm going to try to use that to immediately start to blend into my pass so that I don't have to just exchange my bottom open guard for his bottom open guard. So whenever we're here like this, and I get this attachment to where we're shin to shin like this, and I'm keeping my knee on the outside, I'm hugging behind his knee, and then I'm posting maybe on this hand. Two good uses for this hand: one, post if I have to move, but I don't want to leave it hanging out here with a lot of weight on it. Another good place for this one here is, and I got this from Gio Martinez, is keeping it above here like this, because if Ed wants to reach down and start messing with my head at all, this can start to kind of shave this off, and so it doesn't allow him to get a good grip on my head or snap me or push me. So from here then, this is available, and I decide from this position that I'm going to hook here behind his leg on the far side, and I'm going to push here in the center of his mass, and then that's going to allow me then to start to come up and look for the pass of my own. So that's another good opportunity for a wrestle up. But what happens sometimes here is that if from this position, if I start to try to trip this leg and he steps out and over that position, well, now I've kind of lost that opportunity. I've also kind of shown him my hand so he knows what to expect. So the next thing that I want to look for instead is I'm going to sweep this leg back and I'm going to take this leg out. Right? So we go here, I try to hook this leg, he steps out and over it. So now I cup in with the lead leg. So I'm taking my shin to shin out, I'm hooking here, my knee pit against his ankle. And then as I start to come up, we're gonna use a similar concept to the one that we looked at from the knee cut pass reversal that we did earlier. So now from this position, I'm gonna start to come up this direction, driving into him. I'm gonna keep my head in the center line. I'm gonna reach to this far side leg here and try to bunch the two legs up. And then I want to hit again on this like double leg takedown with the inside hook, as it were. So whenever we get to this position here, and I've scooted in to this shin on shin action here, I'm kind of monitoring up above. I go to trip this leg, he steps that leg out, I post, and then I cup inside. So exchange my legs. I'm going to come up this way, trying to like kind of headbutt him into his torso. I block the far side leg, and then I bunch the two legs up, and I achieve my double leg takedown like that. Say that Ed is like mounted on top of me, and a type of elbow escape that I like to do is if the guy's planted here because he's really trying to stabilize, I want to move myself out to the side of Ed's arms, because from here if I try to go up and trap one of his arms, it's going to be really hard, because either it's going to be too based out and too sturdy, or he's going to be able to pull his arm away from me too easily. So instead I'm going to push myself off to the side like I'm trying to get perpendicular to Ed here. And then as I get myself perpendicular here like this, I'm gonna start to shrimp out. And as I go to shrimp out, look at what happens here. My hip comes out from under this leg, and then it makes this leg of Ed's, fairly light, right? Once it gets light, now I wanna collect and save the spaces that I made. Because it's a really important thing whenever we create space, that we not only fill space, but we take advantage of the spaces that we make and we save that space. So now I'm gonna come up and hook my foot here like this. I'm gonna keep control of the leg. I'm gonna hold the knee, and I'm gonna hook back here. So this is automatically setting up a good single leg X style position. And so it's possible that if he turns the right way or he falls or whatever, I can start attacking his legs. But if he's good and stable, this is a good opportunity for another wrestle up. And what essentially I'm gonna look to do is I'm gonna scoop back here and cup underneath his leg, and I wanna get it hiked up to my shoulder. As I do that, I want my hand to come over and I wanna hold his knee, because I don't want his knee turning down just yet. So I'm gonna keep that knee in that upright position. I'm gonna start to step my foot inside, and I wanna drop the leg off his hip and get my hip retracted back this way. From here, it's just basically a technical stand up to where I retract, come back up to this foot, and then I'm gonna look to run him down, and then I can start to look for my guard pass off of that. Or if he wants to stand up to his leg and start hopping around, then I can look to turn that into an actual takedown. So basically what this one is here is that whenever we get in this position and I push myself out to the side trying to get perpendicular and shoving him away. Now this looks a little vulnerable, so I want to answer this question right away. No, my arms are not in a big danger of being locked right now, because I'm blocking here by by his lat or his armpit, and I'm blocking down here. So I'm not overextending in the center of his chest. That's gonna make me susceptible to an arm lock. So let's not even talk about that. So we get here like this. Now I'm gonna shrimp out to the side this way. As I'm pushing, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna hook, I'm gonna post my foot here like this while I go back and swim. Once I get my swim and I get this up to my shoulder, now I can start to bring this foot inside if it reaches, or I might need to drop this foot first, and then I'm gonna start to post up. Now I can place my foot inside if it reaches, and then I'm gonna post all the way to my hand and do a technical stand-up or standing up in base. I'm gonna get up here, and then I'm gonna look to come back. If Ed stays on his knees, this is good too, because now I can fold that leg inside, I can drag him back, and I look to get to his back and get around this kind of waist lock, and then eventually work up to my seat belt and take his back. This is one that's a little bit more for fun than anything else, but yeah, I've definitely seen it work in actual competition footage, either at high school or collegiate levels. And I've heard it referred to as a reverse shot, but I've also, a lot of people will just call it an Imanari these days because of the proliferation and the popularity of the Imanari roll. Imanari roll essentially is this right here, where if Ed is standing up like this here, and then I make him take a step back with the lead leg, and so he leaves this other leg in place, and then I'm gonna shoot inside, I'm gonna pass my head through, and I'm gonna tuck and spin, and I wanna capture this leg with my legs. From here, I'm gonna try to topple him over, and then I'm gonna start attacking leg locks on him like this. But an interesting thing that happens sometimes is you can use this as well for this kind of reverse shot kind of idea, where I go here and I try to pick at this leg, he steps that leg back, and then as I go to shoot in, I actually cup and I go to the outside. Once I get to the outside, I'm leaning the weight back into my shoulder like this here, so we're both facing the same direction. And as I push the weight back, his toes start to get light, and so then I rip at the base of his toes here to pick this leg up. Once I pick the leg up, I can get all the way to here to standing, and now essentially I have leg lock, or I have a single leg takedown opportunities from that kind of ankle pick. So what's happening again, to break that down, I'm going inside here on the leg, he steps that leg back, I shoot this way here. My hand's going inside his leg, and I'm spinning all the way around this way here. So once I come through, look at how his foot already gets light because I'm pushing the weight back here into his heel. His toes get light, and I'm gonna kind of hit an uppercut like this right here. And then I wanna reinforce, cup inside here, and we can go in for trips, dumps, pickups, whatever. But that's another way that we can look to kind of wrestle up from that seated position. It can also happen from standing versus standing. And I think that that's probably one of the defining features of a wrestle up, because it's something that really imitates more wrestling-based movements versus jiu-jitsu positional type movements that we're typically familiar with. So if you think about things like double legs, single legs, sweeps to the inside, to the outside, and how we're combining those features with a lot of the leg positioning and hip positioning that you commonly see in jiu-jitsu or submission grappling, then that's what really is a defining feature, I think, of a wrestle up. But anyway, if you're not already incorporating these into your game, or if you are haphazardly and you're not really putting the attention into them, then it's really worth spending some time on to really develop them and flesh them out. And there's a lot of really good resources out there on wrestle ups that you can go and look at. You know, like BJJ Fanatics has a whole bunch of them, and while you're there, you might as well pick up 6 of my instructionals. Not necessarily on wrestle ups, but just whatever. But anyway, yeah, so that's all I have for wrestle ups today, guys. Make sure you go and you buy all my instructionals from Jiu-Jitsu X and BJJ Fanatics and all the things that I always forget to plug that I'm gonna try to, and join my Patreon for more exclusive class footage and seminar content. And oh, I feel so cheap, I gotta go take a shower now. But thank you, Ed, I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
And keep watching Night Jiu-Jitsu channel, guys.